This video is for anybody that's interested in network security. This is Brett Loveday, and today's video is all about Citrix NetScaler. This is a subject that's very close to my heart. If you saw my recent article, I wrote about Citrix Bleed. It was a vulnerability that was discovered a couple of years back, but we are finding customers still vulnerable to this. So this video is all about that, really. So today's video is all about addressing those issues. It's going to be a deep technical dive, so this is maybe something that you want to pass on to your network security team or your Citrix team. We are going to be going through step by step how you can get an A+ certification rating on your NetScalers. It's going to be a technical video, and joining me on this video will be my head of engineering, Stanimir, better known as Stan. If you know FinTech, you will know Stan. Stan is loved by our customers. So before we start this video, let me set the scene. So the scene is we're going to take a virtual NetScaler that we know fails a security check. So my objective from this video will be that if you follow these instructions, you will get an A+ SSL security rating on your NetScalers. So we're going to be taking a NetScaler that fails, and then we're going to show you how we modify all of the ciphers and how we patch it, and then rerun a security check on it to show that we get an A+. And if you follow the same, you will get the same. And if you get stuck, just contact me, okay? I will help you. Okay, so welcome. Say hello, Stan.
Hi, everyone.
So Stan is my head of engineering, as I said before. And if I just set the scene for today. So today we're going to be taking a fresh download of a Citrix NetScaler, and we're going to run some security checks on it. So I'm going to hand over to Stan, because Stan, if you could set the scene for me, please, so we could explain to the viewers exactly what we're looking at.
Certainly. So what we have here is a brand new NetScaler 14.1, latest version as of today. Downloaded, set up, run through the initial config with a Citrix Access Gateway, or for that matter, it could also be a virtual load balancing SSL server configured. All other settings are by default, so this is what you would get by downloading a brand new NetScaler, setting up a gateway or a load balancing virtual server.
Right, thank you for that. Yeah, before we move on, so for clarity, can we just confirm the date so that people can know which date we're talking about?
Yep, 12th of November 2024.
So 12th of November 2024, we've just downloaded a virtual NetScaler. We have run a security check against it, so we're going to hand back to Stan and he can explain the results, what you would get if you was to do this today.
Right, so what we are doing right now is running fresh scan of the NetScaler using Qualys SSL Labs. It's a very comprehensive suite, and it's free for use, so you could use to test your external endpoints and see how they score. Started the test, we need to give it a minute to finish up.
Thank you, Stan. We'll bring you back once this is done. Okay, the scan has completed. It didn't score so well. We got a rating of C. So, Stan, would you be able to give us a brief synopsis of what that actually means?
Yes, thank you, Brett. C is not a good score. As you can see, and there is a more detailed report further down, it's vulnerable to quite a few vulnerabilities, namely PUDO, because SSL 3 is enabled. Also, you have TLS 1.0 and 1.1 enabled. Incomplete certificate chain and no forward secrecy configured. So that all limits the score to a grade of C.
And guys, it's important to know this because this is a fresh download install of the NetScaler as of today. So if you were to download one today and install it, this will be your result. So the remaining part of this video, we're going to show you how to fix this. And we're going to get this to an A+ rating. And if you follow these steps of how we're going to take this from a C to an A+, and that is the highest you'll ever achieve in a NetScaler. So I'm going to hand it back to Stan.
Thank you, Brett. Right, this is where the magic starts then. We will log on as administrators onto our NetScaler instance. As you can see, that's our NetScaler 14.1 version 3442 current as of today. And the first thing we would want to do is bind our intermediate certificate to the server certificate. That was one of the things highlighted by the report. We want a complete server chain. So to do that, you would go to traffic management, SSL, certificates, and then CA certificates. Now, you should have access to your intermediate certificate and be able to download it from your public CA together with your own server certificate. So I will not go into details how you get your CA certificate. That could be something for a future video. We've already done this, and we'll just name it GoDaddy Intermediate. Choose a file, select the file, open, and just install it. Once you've installed the CA certificate, you also need to bind it. Find your server certificate, right click, link, it will automatically detect your intermediate. Okay, this part done, we've now chained the certificates. Next thing we would want to do is go to traffic management, click create, and we will have our SSL profile created. Usually it's on the second page. Right, next thing we want to do is go to system, profiles, click on the SSL profile tab, and we'll create a new SSL profile that we will use. Click add, type a name for the profile that you recognize. I'll usually do A+ and then the date or the year and the month, because these profiles tend to change. So first setting you want to change is deny SSL renegotiation. Change this to non-secure. Next thing you want to do is scroll down, enable HSTS, max H, enter the number 157680000. And in the protocols, only select TLS 1.2 and TLS 1.3. Next thing you do is click OK. You would then go on the side menu to SSL ciphers, click add, and you want to add your cipher group, the one that you created earlier. Okay. And done. There we go. There is another thing we need to do first. So go back. Okay, you need to go to enable the default profile to be able to set a custom profile. There's a step that you need to do extra. So go back to traffic management, SSL, change advanced SSL settings. Make sure you select the enable default profile setting. Click OK. Yes. We go back to our system, profiles, SSL profile, A+ 2024 for November. Back to the ciphers. So edit, remove all configured profiles, ciphers, sorry. Select TLS 1.3, click the arrow to configure it. Okay. Yeah, that's looking better already. Click done. Once you've done that, all you need to do is bind that SSL profile to your either load balancing virtual server or NetScaler gateway. Have a gateway configured here. There it is. Open it up. Scroll down until you find an option for SSL profiles. There you go. By default, you get the NS default SSL profile frontend. You want to edit that out, replace it with our A+ 2024 November 1. Hit OK, done, and then save your config on the NetScaler. And let's rerun our test.
So good luck, Stan. Well, I think you'll be okay here. What we advise anybody watching this is that you play with this. Follow this guide. Do it. Download a virtual NetScaler. Get comfortable with the process before you attempt to do it on your live environment. But bear in mind that this is almost like a point-in-time solution. This is something that you need to keep on top of almost on a monthly basis, if not weekly basis. Okay, everybody, as you can see there, this is the best you're going to get. This is an A+ certification rating. So most hackers would exploit vulnerabilities. They look for CVEs, and the best you could do is making sure you're keeping top of your NetScaler. Don't leave it unpatched. Update the firmware. Check regularly. Make sure you always get an A+ certification rating, and that's going to protect you against 99% of the vulnerabilities out there, because that's what exploiters look for. They look for this sort of stuff. So Stan, just run over your findings for me, please.
So A+, scoring A+ means there are no known vulnerabilities that are affecting your NetScaler. You're using the most up-to-date ciphers and the protocols that you're going to communicate, meaning TLS 1.2 and 1.3 only, with no backwards compatibility to vulnerable versions like TLS 1.1, 1.0, or even SSL 3. And your certificates are all correctly configured, correctly chained with the right strength. It means you're doing things to the best possible level.
Right. Stan, thank you for that detailed explanation. Anybody's watching this, I hope you found this useful. And if you've got any issues, you know how to contact us. I'll put our details at the end of this video. Thank you for your time, Stan.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you. Bye-bye. I'll speak to you all again soon.